I feel like I've been on this journey my whole life because it started with my name, Talitha, Cumi, which literally means little girl wake up. And I can't say it's been easy. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, but I believe life is all in your decision making. The I Am Talitha Cumi show is a combination of things that I love to talk about, and I want to enlighten you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best you can be with some help from me and my guests. Let's talk about it.
What's poppin', buddy? See, I got the leftovers from Auntie. Let's go ahead and crack these damn leftovers and make it good. It's a rib slider.
And we are live here at the Botham Jean Foundation Gala event, you guys. Did you know that the real New Year is not on January 1st? It's on March 20th. So the real New Year's Eve is March 19th, with New Year's Day being March 20th. So you guys don't worry if you haven't kept up your New Year's resolutions, because you still have a little bit of time. So is there anything that I left?
No, other than my name is pronounced Georgia Nay.
Georgia, I was pronouncing that all wrong. Georgia Nay. My bad. I hate when people pronounce my name wrong too.
Tappity Kuma.
Hey, y'all. Hey, it's your girl Talitha Cumi, and I want to welcome you to the I Am Talitha Cumi show on the Food for the Soul Media Group Network. Thanks for tuning in, and remember you can catch us here every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. on our Food for the Soul YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group FB page, and check out our re-air audio shows on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Shout out to Quan with Gorilla Cross Media on the ones and twos, keeping us looking and sounding right. Our disclaimer, as always, these are our opinions, not fact, just our opinions, and some of the opinions of our guests are not always the opinions of the I Am Talitha Cumi show, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Gorilla Cross Media. And if you want to weigh in, leave us a comment in the chat room on our YouTube station or FB page.
Yay. And you know what to do. Follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Food for the Soul Media Group. And follow me on Instagram and on Facebook.
Yep.
My Instagram is Orlay_worldwide, and the real Big Bobby B.
Word. And you guys, we're looking for sponsors and donors to help keep our show a priority in bringing you great guests, good discussions, and we need you. So if you're looking to be a guest or promote your business with us, go to foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com or inbox us today. So last week we had our special gumbo mix where all of me and my co-hosts, we come together, and it was called Stepping Out of the Fire. And today it's a special show because it is Fifth Friday.
Yay. And Fifth Friday means it's Big Bobby B's segment called The Pot.
Yeah.
We'll be doing this every Fifth Friday, so there's only 4 in a year.
Mm-hmm.
My objective is to honestly get the cool pastors that people enjoy on this show to talk about how black men are being treated in the church and dealt with. So
okay.
And why they're running away and why they're not feeling it at this moment. So
yeah, so why they're leaving.
Yeah.
What about comedians? You said you might have some comedians on too.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be pastors, comedians, and I would like to get a couple pimps on there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay then. And so what's the purpose in their philosophy and just?
Well, I think from like me personally, I've learned most of my most valuable lessons from comedians.
Okay.
The biggest things that I've been able to apply to my life, I've picked up and adapted from a comedian.
Really?
And I think the world is that way. We wouldn't have censorship on TV if it wasn't for Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And the 7-second, delay so that way they can choose when to. So I see that energy, and I want to talk to people about that, and talk to pastors about why it's not more seen with us as black men, and why we're not handling each other the way that we should.
Okay. I get it. All right.
In most cases, not all, but.
Okay. Well, I want to go ahead and take a short commercial break before we get into everything, because we got to hear from our sponsors. Y'all, we got sponsors.
Premium Grooming Essentials. Crisp products provide you with excellent hair and skin products, along with high-quality grooming products for the hair of the future. Their multi-use professional product for barbers and cosmetologists will make your desired hairlines, goatees, and eyebrows pleasingly crisp, keeping your desired lines and shapes crisp. By Mook the Barber. Go to www.crispproducts.com. CRISPRODC today. Crisp. Mook the Barber. Crisp. Mook the Barber.
People regularly choose to go without legal help simply because they believe they can't afford to protect their rights. Having a law firm in your corner isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity in certain situations. No one thinks about legal services during the happy, fun, exciting times, but we all encounter specific events in life that get complicated and messy. Legal Shield is available to help you navigate the legal matters that follow any stage of life, including getting married, financial decisions, such as purchasing a home, family additions, living with teenagers, and end-of-life planning. Legal Shield helps you navigate through all of the legal stuff that life throws at you by giving you easy, affordable access to an entire law firm. The days of only getting as much justice as you can afford are over. Legal Shield is changing how people access legal help by putting experienced attorneys on your side for one low monthly fee. There's an easier, more affordable way to protect your life and your rights. Legal Shield. Rest easy knowing your legal rights are protected. Legal Shield has you covered for life's biggest occasions by addressing your legal needs at every stage of life.
And we are back. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by Legal Shield Independent Associate Terry Harrison. You can check out her website at www.terryharrisonwearelegalshield.com, or you can call her at 660-525-7737. And you guys, I need to introduce our guest for the evening. They have been sitting here patiently waiting, and I want to get into it because I know Bobby has some great things and some great questions and stuff that he wants to talk about. Reverend Kelsey A. West is a man after God's own heart. He is a pastor, philanthropist, and playwright. During his undergraduate studies at UNLV, Pastor West created 32nd Street Theater, a nonprofit theater company, in 1992. His theatrical credits as a self-taught playwright and director include Two-Sided Coins, A Gift Called Tomorrow, Quiet Time to Play, and If This World Were Mine, a theatrical tribute to the music of Marvin Gaye. In 1993, he developed the now annual Unity Through Knowledge HBCU Tour and College Preparatory Program, which has helped more than 2,200 high school students tour and explore the academic opportunities available at historic Black colleges and universities. The program includes monthly college prep workshops for students and parents prior to the week-long tour that also focuses on time, money, and self-management via nightly group projects and team-building exercises. That sounds so dope. Pastor West is pastor of Nehemiah Ministries Christian Church, a community leader, and so much more. Y'all had to cut his bio down. It was so long, but it was a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Pastor Kelsey.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
And Zakia is a distinguished and trusted independent community organizer. Her vision revolves around fostering sustainable communities through robust economic growth and fostering social awareness through open dialogue and challenging discussions. Her solution-oriented approach to community sustainability underscores her dedication to creating a more equitable and inclusive society. Zakia curates community change through understanding the many ways our language reflects our reality. She uses her podcast, Uncomfortable Conversations, to shift the narrative of shameful experiences into understanding of self and others. This empowers others to celebrate and respect their life journey as well as others. In addition to uncomfortable conversations, she curated the legacy reception for this past year's Super Bowl breakfast. The legacy reception is an immersive experience offering youth exposure and opportunities they may not have otherwise had. Zakiya continues to be the difference she wants to see in the community. Her newest journey as an author of multiple books is up, with the first scheduled for release in late 2024. And hers was also, man, she's done some great stuff. Welcome to the show, Zakiya. Can I call you Z?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to call me Z.
Okay,
I don't
thank
give
you.
people.
Okay,
But yes, you can.
well, thank you
Okay.
so much, because I just don't want to just jack up your name like people jack up my name. And so I like Z might be the way to go. But
Absolutely.
I want to get right into it, you guys, because I know Bobby has a lot of stuff he wants to talk about. But I want to address this to both of you guys. Why are we seeing more divorce in the church in 2024? Why do you think, Pastor?
More divorce in the church.
Yes, in the
Watch
church
this.
particularly.
I think in 2024, because we're seeing more preaching and teaching, if you will, to the popularity, to the tickling of ears, I don't think we're preaching a message like we should as a whole, that really reminds people how much marriage means to God. I think living in this day and time with people having so many options and people running to people's rescue a little bit too fast when people first see smoke. I think that's one of the reasons. I think not having enough marriage ministries where we really just stop and focus on helping people. My dissertation was on blended families.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so when you look at the numbers, the majority of people in churches are blended families. It's hard enough just being a traditional family.
Yeah.
So when you add on the dynamics of being blended, you really need the support of your church.
Okay. What about you, Z?
Well, I kind of agree with what Pastor West said, in the sense that in the church, you see this very polished appearance of what you think a family should be and is, and that's not realistic.
Okay.
And people in the church are finding it hard to live up to that standard, so they either walk away from the church or they just walk away from their relationships. And it's very unfortunate that we would like to see them build partnerships, not just facades.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my response to that.
I can see that. It's funny, Pastor West, you have some really good analogies, and when you said about the smoke, that just makes me think of that side chick or that person that's waiting. Like, I see smoke. Oh, something's about to go down. Okay,
Right.
let me go ahead and be this shoulder.
That's right.
Let me go ahead and be this confidant. And their marriage ain't even separated or nothing.
What are we talking about now as far as blended personalities? Like blended personality disorders?
Well, when we look at everything that's going on now in the world, I think it's imperative that you not only, some marriages, they need to go into marriage with a therapist.
Right.
I think it's unfortunate when people get married and they weren't honest during the, from a biblical standpoint, the betrothal or the engagement period, to let their spouse, their future spouse, know this is what I'm bringing to the table.
Right.
And so I know we have counseled people, and people are discovering after the ceremony who they really married.
Right.
And that is not.
This is a lot of this I'm seeing is because people don't know who they are in the first place.
That's true.
A lot of guys, a lot of young men. I've seen a lot of young men in this certain category get trapped by the ankle by older men, drag them to their church, and then they go in there. Their mindset is already set on well-intended bad advice. They now believe that, I'm going to get burnt immediately if I don't do this. I'm going to get set on fire. God's going to strike me down. These are the teachings that they teach a lot of younger men.
I see where you are.
On.
Now I'm going to say this. I think,
especially in the South, I've experienced this a lot.
So watch this. From a Southern perspective, I think that scare tactic, we don't see enough of that. Watch where I'm going. There's a balance. I think it's wrong to scare people into marriage,
right.
But at the same time, I think people need to be made aware. This is my daughter.
Right.
This is my son, my sister. This is my cousin. Don't be wilding out.
Right. No, totally. Totally see that. But if there's disorders that people don't know of because they've been ingrained in people because of trauma and stuff like that.
Oh, that's different. So,
and these are the things that I'm seeing a lot more of. Like we're reading about the divorce rates growing in the church, and I think it's basically because of that.
Well, let me share.
Like these people should not be married in the first place.
Well, from a man point of view, or just either the man or the woman, you have to embrace the ministry of marriage. See, a lot of times we get married and it's for the eros love, it's for the physical love. But I have to also be in love with your mind and your heart, your past as well as your future.
Right.
And once you share your past with me, I have to understand how to minister to you and walk alongside you to help you through some of the stuff you may have not dealt with. And so I'm trying to figure out how come you won't say, I love you back. Well, you didn't tell me when we were engaged you lived in an abusive household. Or you're not telling me why when I hug you a certain way, you flinch. You didn't tell me you were molested.
Right.
And so those factors play a major role in why we have to understand the ministry side.
I can dig it.
All of that, all of that plays a role, and I think that's why it's super important that before you go into any union partnership, you need to seek counseling, understanding of each other.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that people aren't willing to be completely transparent with who they are and where they are in life. Again, it speaks to that facade of we're getting married, this is a good look, right? Versus, is this going to be a great experience?
But it may be trauma that keeps people from even coming into the space of working the honesty or working the honest situation with somebody from the beginning. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of trauma, you know.
Trauma
Dad
plays
said they
a
loved
role in
him, but did
everything.
everything opposite. So hearing "I love you" is now a stab. It's not a pleasant thing to hear. So they don't come into the relationship saying that. These are things that we don't deal with. And then black people are getting divorced and tearing up their families financially and spiritually because they didn't know what they were going into in the first place.
Right.
Well, this month our theme has been redoing the redo, and I named our topic when I said I do and then I didn't.
Right.
Because I feel like this topic of marriage and divorce in the church needs to be addressed, and some other things that we have learned that we may need to unlearn that the church taught us. So, Bobby, I'm holding to you.
Well, Pastor West, I got a dope question for you. Who did Cain marry and how?
Watch this. That's a great question. In between Genesis 3 and 4, I want us to understand there's a time factor in there that we're not made privy to.
Okay.
Right.
And we have to remember by the time we get to Genesis 6, 7, and 8 chapters, people have massive lifespans.
Right.
So for the sake of respecting how Moses was inspired to write the first 5 books, a biblical, a theological answer is Cain married the person God created for him to marry. Okay. Now, where she may have come from, we're not made privy to that answer.
Totally, I like this.
And so that's the best way and the safest way and the most respectful way to answer that. Could she have been a sibling? It's possible because at that time, that's how people were populating. And then when we repopulating the world or populating, and then by the time we get to the books of Deuteronomy and Leviticus, we see the laws coming to stop that.
Right on.
Okay. Z, I got a question for you.
Thank you.
Why do you think that it's so hard to have real conversations within the church? And I'm talking like men and women. Why is it so hard for us to be real with each other?
It's hard because of what I just said earlier. Everybody has this facade. So if I tell you who I really am, then I don't look like the picturesque person that I presented myself to be. And it kind of goes to them feeling just the shame and the guilt of being who they really are and comfortable in themselves. A lot of people aren't comfortable with who they are. So if you're not comfortable with you, it's not likely you're going to walk into a church, whether you're speaking to just the pastor or anybody else, and just say, hey, this is me. Will you still love me? They're afraid. They don't even know if they love themselves.
Okay.
So I think that's a challenge that a lot of people deal with it. It's a real thing.
Big,
Okay.
big time. It's me? All right, Pastor West got a question for you. Say
Come
you're
on.
walking down the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see from a distance a couple fighting. And you're like, oh, I don't like this. So you walk up on him. Right whenever you're getting up on him, he clocks her with a mean right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the person and who do you see wrong or in the wrong right off?
I mean, first off, I see him wrong. And then I still have to have an investigative mindset because he could have been unfortunately provoked to do that.
Right. But would you be able to sense that from seeing this?
Not sense it. I can add my, I can, from the natural eye, I can try to sense it, but sometimes we just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But to, that type of stuff, you want to run interference, you want to stop it.
Right.
Let me answer the question this way. As a pastor, I encourage women to know when he say go on now.
Right.
When he say that's enough. And I encourage sisters to understand you don't have to prove how strong you are fighting a man.
Absolutely.
Now, and then to a brother, if you have to go to violence, if that's your means of solution, you need to really revisit why we got married.
Right.
If she can push your buttons like that,
Yeah.
you need to really tell me why did you marry her?
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Pastor West,
Uh-huh.
where in the Bible does it talk about divorce? And are we really given grace by God when committing that sin? So were we taught wrong about it? And if so, what do you feel divorced people are to do? Like those that have moved on and remarried and all that other kind of stuff?
Let's summarize the Bible. So technically, we're going to see divorce from Genesis to Revelation.
Okay.
We serve a God who lets us know from the moment he creates a man and a woman, from the moment he makes choice of Israel as his people, from the moment he makes choice of the church, we're watching God show us what commitment, relationship, covenant means to him.
Okay.
Where we have erred in the church, and I'm going to say church because the world is going to do what the world is going to do. But inside the church, shame on anybody who has received grace and they didn't give grace to somebody else. Shame on anybody who preached the gospel where we made quote unquote one sin greater than another. And so watch this. I think it's dangerous to say, well, they got divorced, they're going to hell. Okay, but what about these singles over here who fornicating? God don't speak too kindly about that. And so we have to be careful when we start laying too much weight on things. And there's so many factors that that contribute to a divorce. So are we going to find one scripture that's going to point to every single reason why somebody gets a divorce? No, we won't. But what we will suggest is this. In Proverbs, where we go to that book for wisdom, we find in the 3rd chapter that book of verse telling us, in all thy ways, acknowledge him, he will direct our paths. So before you get married, acknowledge God. When it gets rocky, acknowledge God. When things are going good and you want it to remain good, acknowledge him. That's my answer.
Okay.
Cool. Z, got a question for you. How do you feel about marriage roles and how they're being taught to women and how to be like wives and mothers? And do you feel that the church promotes marriage in a positive light?
I can't necessarily speak to the church. I grew up in an Islamic household, so I grew up in the masjid, and the way gender roles were taught to me may be a little different from that. And I feel good about it personally. I don't feel like I had a bad experience.
Well,
now, should that be?
I don't even want to make it weird since you don't have that space.
I was gonna. I was
gonna ask you. Do you feel like what you grew up in was helpful to you now?
I believe it was.
And you feel like it's something you would remain?
For me, yes, it works for me and my space and time that I grew up and the person that I am, because I know who I am.
Yeah.
Now, I can't say the same for everybody else. But for me, absolutely, I feel like the religious rearing that I received from the Islamic background, it was perfect for me and who I am.
I've never had a conversation with anybody from this background, so this is great.
Yes, you have. You've had many conversations with me. No, I'm joking.
like general, like just about this.
Yeah.
So this is cool.
So them teaching you about being a wife and motherhood, you feel like that was some good teaching, and you knew how to, you were prepared when you had children or became a wife?
To my extent of knowledge at that time frame, I absolutely feel like I was prepared.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what I learned going forward, I'm going to say kind of. Okay. I was prepared, but not really, because, again, I didn't have the understanding of how a relationship was really supposed to work, even though I knew the roles per se. So those two things are very different. You know the roles, but showing what a partnership looks like in a real relationship in real time is very different.
Right.
And challenging to do when you come from one generation to the next, because we evolve as people, as we should be doing.
Right.
So it's a little different.
And that makes sense. That makes sense.
I like it. Is it commercial time for me or what?
I'll chime in on that.
I'm not even
ready for a break?
I'll chime in on that one if we don't have to go to break.
No, go ahead.
Well, we do have a commercial break, but go ahead.
Let me just say this. When it comes to church, I'm a people watcher. I've always been a people watcher. As a kid, I used to love to go to the malls and just sit and watch people.
Right.
And I would say, okay, when I got older, because when you mention the different types of people you want on your show, well, when I was a young man, I remember watching the ballers and how they handled their girls. And I was like, okay, when I get older, I want to be able to put a chain around her neck, at that time, a fake Gucci bag, And then when I got older, I started watching couples. I was blessed. My parents, they were together up until my mom passed. My grandparents, they showed me relationship. And so and then when I went to church, it was like being on a cruise ship. We like to cruise. I watch people. Yeah. And so when you come to church, it's not about seeing perfection in all the couples, but you got to look for what you need. Because not everybody's marriage really can be an example for yours. Yeah. You're talking about two unique peoples. Like I tell people all the time, I thank God for my wife, Carmen. I'm no walk in the park. I'm a pastor who loves comedy. I'm a pastor who has a PhD in hip hop. Right. Are you feeling me?
Totally.
I'm a pastor where in the middle of a sermon, because you talk about keep it real, being transparent, I can be in the middle of a sermon. I can look at my wife and I'm not giving her the look of hallelujah. I'm giving her the look of after church, drop some Jodeci.
Respect. See, and I like that. A pastor who respects and loves his wife, he's not pretending. She's not a token or she's not a beard.
No, man. She's my wife. She's my partner. Respect. She's my right hand. She's my best friend. And before we got to I Do, we had 5 years of building real gangster friendship.
And that's real.
And that's important.
Absolutely
that's
important.
Super important.
Absolutely.
Dope. If you just tuned in, this is the I Am Talitha Cumi show with the new segment, The Pot, with Big Bobby B, and we will have more from Pastor West and Z when we come back. Bobby hates reading. I don't even know why he does this.
No, I don't hate reading.
He just left the paper there.
Notes.
It's just like, I'm not reading.
All you gotta do is say we about to go to a commercial break.
I said that.
No.
How many times do you want me to say it?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
no, you
Lord.
Didn't.
Well, no, we're live.
We are live. I wanted to be able to honor my father's memory by doing a documentary about his life. And I was hoping to do the documentary when he was still here, but that wasn't the case, so I'm doing it now. Documentaries just kind of, they prick your heart a little bit different than any other form of film to me.
My initial thought that he was a amazing teacher of the word. And he loved his members. And I was just a visitor seeing this at that time. And the first thing I noticed, one, the amount of young people my age. Because at that time I was right at 30 years old, turning 31. And there's a lot of young adults between 25 and 40. And again, his teaching, plus people my age, can't beat that.
After his first surgery, I won't forget this. And I kind of, didn't want to say it because I felt like I didn't want my other brothers and, sisters to feel bad. But, when we all went back there individually to his room, he looked at me and said, "Son," he said, "you my legacy."
That's all right.
Dr. Bolden meant a lot to me because he was the first one, I would say, male figure in my life that was really in tune and interested in my growth in Christ. Man, I totally was trying. I know y'all probably could hear me trying not to earlier, and I'm like, "Oh, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it."
That's dope. That's all big.
That look cool though?
Huh?
That looks pretty official. It gives us the gym look that I wanted.
Yeah.
I want you in the gym or just have on.
But yeah, I'm praying that's what this would do. I pray that this will give people an eye opener about the real man, not, I would say, the man, not just the legend, but the real man who is Dr. Booty Bolden.
This is going to allow pastors to sit their behinds down for a second if they pay attention and let their hair down, unbutton the top button, and think. Because he made some super strong statements like, don't sell your family on the altar of ministry.
He chose us in him before the foundation of the world. And we've been called out from the world. And the reason why we've been called out from the world, because God wants us to reflect his image. Because in many cases, in some people, the only image of the Lord that they will see, they'll never go into the doors of a church. It's going to be you and I. It's going to be our lives. Amen?
All right, and we are back. If you just joined us, thank you for tuning in to the I Am Talitha Cumi show on Food for the Soul Media Group. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by the Orlay Collective. The Orlay Collective is accessories, fashion, and art all in one place. Go to www.burriscreates.com/Orlay worldwide. Stand out from the ordinary.
Yeah, and we're back. And It's your boy, Big Bobby B. Very thankful that you guys are here with me. I got two of the dopest people in the city to support me on my first day doing my first show.
Yeah.
I was going to say apart from my wife, but she's sitting right here holding my hand.
The next time I won't be.
Yeah.
So go on somewhere now.
Anyway, so Pastor, I got a couple cool questions for you real quick. So why do we look at the job as spy as good in the Bible, but not in real life?
Say it again.
The job of spy.
Job of spy.
Like a spy. Why is that job considered cool?
You got now you telling me something I've never heard before. A spy?
A spy. Like it was respected in the Bible because they went and
spy when they went and spied the land.
Right.
Well, let me say this. Now there are words that we use in our culture.
Okay.
That are opposite of what we find in the Bible.
Right on.
And so a spy, so let me use that for marriage. Before, the name of our church is Nehemiah Ministries. And by the way, we had the dopest marriage ministry out there. Shouts out to our More Marriage team. Now, before Nehemiah rebuilt the walls in Jerusalem, he first had to go and he had to survey. He had to serve as a spy in the land. Watch this. Before you say I do, it's good to take time not to be a stalker, but to be a spy over what you're about to say I do to.
Right, I can dig, but God never told us to spy out our wife. He said find.
That's right. And so, but hear me what I'm saying. again, we're looking at words to how we define them now. So from a spy perspective, I'm finding to find her means I still need to search for her. I still need to make sure I understand who she is. It's almost like in the book of Ruth, where you find Boaz. He observes this young woman. She's different, so he starts to inquire, who is she?
Right.
So to a degree, he's spying her out. If I'm hearing you correctly with this word,
I see that, but they don't change like woman from Gargamel or whatever it used to be. Like I still see woman, I still see man. All the words are still the same. There's a few things that change, like Calvary.
But tell me this, to help me so I'm clear with you.
Yeah.
My goal is always going to be to help people get married, stay married. That's my favorite subject in the Bible. So just help me. I want to answer the question, but help me understand where we're going with the word
It's
spy.
not totally,
because that's not a word
not
I
even
use.
Totally it has nothing to do with marriage.
Okay.
Why do they use the word spy in the Bible? And it's okay. But now if you hear about a spy, it's not. Like if somebody was to tell you, hey man, you got a spy, you probably need to get spyware and spend $19.95 a month. No, spies are good because they went to the prostitute's house and help God save these people.
Yeah, that's one I would have to really be in that conversation with. That's not something.
Okay,
yeah.
Because you didn't lead in with the randomness of the question.
There was no randomness in this question. It's written just like this.
No, I'm saying the randomness of you asking the question outside of the conversation we're talking about. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why.
Yeah. So no, it has nothing to do with
that's
marriage.
Why he's related. That's why he's related to marriage. He has that on his brain.
Yeah.
So
no, let's clear that up. These next few questions don't have anything to do with marriage.
Give me
This question's about.
Okay, give me the next.
That's what I was saying. Yes.
Yeah. So this next one need to be reworded.
Okay.
Why are churches named Calvary?
Why are they named Calvary?
Yes. Why do people name their church Calvary? Like Calvary Church,
Mount
or
Calvary,
Cathedral.
From just from a 2 + 2 is 4, paying homage and respect
to
Calvary. And so when people are naming their churches, and let me share this, Nehemiah came to me. It wasn't like I had my background is marketing. I didn't didn't sit with people and say, what's the dopest name we can come up with. Nehemiah was spoken to me. And so when people are naming churches, my first answer to that would be they're paying homage to something that's meaningful in the Bible.
But it's not really meaningful. They're misreading. And that's sad because that doesn't mean anything positive. It means skull or round skull in a place where he was. There's nothing positive about that place. The word is changed from Golgotha.
Right. So let me share this
in the Greek,
again.
it means
right. Let me share this again. The same way you're asking me that question, it's almost like when Sis was saying, I'm getting asked a question without a lead in.
Yeah.
So my mind is still.
Oh, we're not on marriage.
No, but hear me when I say this. But even with your lead in, I'm answering a broad question.
Yeah.
So watch this. Do you have children?
I do.
What's your child's name?
Destiny.
Destiny. Okay. Do you have cousins who didn't use that type of a name? Did you have anybody in your family who just named a child something?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Because they wanted to.
That's my answer. Some people have picked names, and without me having the ability to ask them why they did that, I wouldn't have a clue. Now, from your perspective, from the heart of what you're asking me, I understand what you're saying. So let me say this. When picking names, when we study the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, I like to look up the meaning of names because people miss the essence of what's being said when they don't look up the names. So now I understand what you're saying. Why do they use Calvary when that was really such a, that was technically not a place that we want to celebrate?
That's society, though, is how we are because we're now like, the N word is cool and.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get
Okay,
it.
I got you now.
Yeah.
I was lost for a second.
Yeah.
You're
Sorry
going to get
about
this
that.
next one. Pastor.
Come on.
Yeah, and he ain't going to have to explain it to you. You're going to be good.
It's on Talitha now.
Well, that's what I was saying, the random, and that's what Bobby is a thinking person, and I know that he was like, okay, I got a pastor on here. I want to ask,
Right.
I want to ask some of these questions because
Right.
I got you on here now, so let me ask. And so I want to bring it back to the topic, but we have our spotlight artist in the house, so I want to ask you guys just a couple more questions before we end. But I wanted to know if both of you can give us one tip that you have on trying to combat divorce. What,
Yeah.
or if somebody has gone through a divorce, what type of tip do you have for that person that's now out here just kind of like trying to figure it out? Well, Z, I'll go with you first.
My first response to that would be learn how to look for understanding.
Okay.
Before we just say, this is it, I can't do that, look for understanding in how you can apply grace.
Okay.
Understanding will allow you to understand why the things that are going on is going on. So like, don't just jump to divorce because of the result. What was the cause of it? Why do we have this cancer? Let's look deeper into that, and maybe we can find some resolve. But even if we can't, we can have an understanding so that should we move forward, we know what happened.
Okay.
Right? It's not just left out in blind space and we just got a divorce.
Okay. Okay.
I would say love what you love. And
Yeah.
so I've been married now. I'm 53. I've been married 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still look to date my wife. I date her better now than I did when we were dating because I want to remain married. I made up my mind years ago. I remember going to my pastor when I was an associate, and I asked him to cut my schedule at the church because I was spending a lot of time at the church and I needed to water my marriage. And so I made that decision real early in ministry and marriage. The church, that's the Lord's bride. Carmen is my bride. And I have to make sure that's my job is to make sure she's happy. To someone who has experienced divorce, my encouragement to them is to take a step back and do a self-reflection. Before you go into another relationship, make sure you understand what you did right and what you did wrong, and then allow yourself time to heal so that when you do get married, you're not going into the next marriage with your guard up.
Respect.
Because and I'll give you this analogy. There's nothing worse than playing spades with somebody who are afraid to play Trump when you need them to play Trump. And so when you marry somebody who's still, when they have their guards up, they're just not playing the cards like you need them to. And that's not marriage to me.
Dope.
That's dope. Well, let me quote this great philosopher, Will Ferrell. Before you marry a person, let them use a computer with a slow internet so you can know who they really are.
That's really, really funny. That was so funny when you found that for me. I'm like, what the heck? Will
I appreciate
Ferrell,
it.
great philosopher. Okay then.
And I got 5 tips of my own to keep yourself married. We've been married going on like 14 now. So
Congrats.
to make it work, get off the damn phone during mealtime.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me to the second point. Have at least one meal together every day,
Yes.
no matter what. Like, don't make an excuse. One day, one meal every day. Keep you some safe personal activities that you do on your own without each other. Find some friends or find someone that, wait, where am I at? Find a daily practice that y'all can do together. Be that prayer, yoga, workout, volunteer like we do. And where am I at? Oh, find something that you can do for your mate as I do. I fade my wife's hair. I do her eyelashes.
Okay.
When I go out of town, she cleans my studio to the point where I can use it again. So find something that you can do for each other on a regular basis, and that'll keep you married. Stay out of everybody else's business.
I concur. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show. And I wanted to know if either of you have something coming up.
Yes, big events.
Yes.
Something magical.
We do.
Okay.
I do. So I have my launch for my business, Z's Legacy LLC, and then my foundation as well. So that is coming up April 24th. I'm looking forward to you guys all being there. It is a pop-up with Caviar Cartel.
Yes.
Location to be
wait.
announced. It is a super, super chic, brand new Italian restaurant here in Las Vegas. You don't want to miss it. You want to be there, and I want to see you there.
Caviar is amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And Pastor?
I'm going to leapfrog to Father's Day weekend. I know we give a lot of attention to Mother's Day, but this year we're doing something extra special for our brothers. And so that whole weekend is men doing outside the box activities. And so it's going to culminate on Sunday, but leading up to that, I just connect with us, Nehemiah Ministries, but it's going to be outside the box activities. Can't give it away right now, but that what you are expecting a church to do, to only do, that won't be us that weekend. We want to reach, I'll just say this, that weekend I want to reach brothers in Timberlands.
Yeah, he's not doing dollar store socks.
Okay. No, I want brothers to feel comfortable in their Timberlands. I want brothers to feel comfortable to be in some spaces with some other brothers, and so we can help each other grow and hold each other accountable. Let me also say this real quick. I'm a guest speaker April 14th. There's a men's conference 14th. I'm a part of with the Salt Church, Pastor Vernon Fox.
Okay.
And so let me just make that announcement. April 14th. There's a men's conference, and I don't have all the information.
Or just like something close, I can put it in.
Yeah, I want to. Oh, it's at Cornerstone Church. There we go. Yep. Cornerstone Church. Shouts out.
I just heard that the other day.
That's gonna be a big deal.
That is. Dope. Well, as we close the show out, please keep in mind we are looking for positive artists who would like to have a live featured performance to end the show every week. You can be a Christian artist or secular artist, but we just need music with some substance and positivity. If you're interested, you can email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com for more information, and you could be our next guest. Our spotlight artist is no stranger to the I Am Talitha Cumi show, as we welcome her back. Sirian is an aspiring R&B soul recording artist who also has a deep passion for performing in film and theater. She is currently working on her very first EP project with the hopes of releasing her first single this year. She recently just competed in Karaoke Knockout and says she just wants to share her gift with the world. And now here is Sirian with I Am Ready for Love.
They say watch what you ask for, 'cause you might receive. If you ask me tomorrow, I'll say the same thing. I am ready for love. Would you please lend me your ring? I promise I won't complain. I just need you to acknowledge I am here. If you give me half a chance, I'll prove this to you. I will be patient, kind, faithful and true to a man who loves music, a man who loves art, respects the spirit world and thinks with his heart. I am ready for love, here with an offering of my voice, my mind, my soul, my eye. Tell me what is enough to prove I am ready for love. Would you please lend me your ring? I promise I won't complain. I just need you to acknowledge I am here. I am ready for love. I am ready for love. Thank you.
Yay, yay. Thank you so much, Sirian. Your voice is amazing. Late Night Whispers, Sunday, April 7th, will be featuring our girl, Solid Truth. Get your tickets today at www.thecomposersroom.com. Also, for National Poetry Month, join us at the Power of Poetry, Friday, April 12th from 6 o'clock p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the West Las Vegas Library Theater. Reserve your spot on Eventbrite at Power of Poetry. You guys, we're going to be there on the red carpet. I am so excited that Bobby was able to do his first segment today. Shout out to my baby. The next time I will not be holding his hand. And he'll be on here really talking to some hopefully some men who want to get some answers and talk about some real stuff without, me putting my little 2 cents in. Anyway, make sure you tune in every Friday to the I Am Talitha Cumi show at 7:30 p.m. on our FB page and YouTube station, Food for the Soul Media Group, and tell your people. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms, Food for the Soul Media Group, and I Am Talitha _Cumi. And also, you guys, catch me and my new news segment, That Ain't What I Heard, on KUNV 91.5 this 5th Sunday, March 31st, 9 a.m. as I give you some news that you can use. I'm excited. And don't forget to follow Bobby. See, he never.
I'm on social. I'm sorry. Hey, follow me, y'all.
He hates.
On _Orlay_ and the real Big Bobby B on Instagram.
Please.
And follow my wife on Facebook, the Food for Soul Media Group.
Yes.
And also on Instagram at the IAM Talitha Cumi Show.
He's on his social answering questions. So our show tonight has been sponsored in part by the Orlay Collective, The Real Big Bobby B Beats, Eccentric Soul Films, Crisp Products, Solid Truth LLC, K Griffiths LLC, and Legal Shield with Terry Harrison, you guys. And we will see you guys next week.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all.
Thank y'all for real, because this is a real experiment for me, because I don't